Welcome to Gladtv. It's your next door neighbor, your player partner, Chandler. Right here, an independent Kentucky artist, Beedaking. Thank you for coming to the show. I appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you.
Before we really get off into everything, I just want to ask, where you from?
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
St. Louis, Missouri.
What brought you to Kentucky?
Relocation, just, getting out of the military.
I dig it. I ended up in Kentucky because my sister was in the military. When did you fall in love with hip hop?
It's hard to tell because I feel like just music in general just always just been in my family, you know what I'm saying? Like growing up, my family in the church, there's a lot of people that can sing and got talents, musical talents, play instruments, this, that, or whatever. Shoot, like for real, it's almost like before hip hop, my favorite artist was Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of us.
Right, so I'm just saying, but even me as a kid, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, he was probably already towards the end, you know what I'm saying? But just Michael Jackson was my favorite artist. So it's just, music has always been around. But I'm trying to think, like, when it was just straight, just a focus on just hip hop, it's hard to tell. Maybe on some real shit, it's probably Kendrick Lamar, That Good Kid, Mad City. Just because the moment of almost like, it was around the time when I started rapping. Towards the end of high school, I was messing with my homeboy. He was doing music. It was around that time where I was kind of getting into it. But then The Good Kid, Mad City dropped. And that just inspired me to just be like, I feel like I can do this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he was kind of talking from a different perspective than what you was hearing from a lot of just mainstream artists or, hip-hop artists. So just like, that was really like the one that really just sparked me to just be like, I want to do it, you know what I'm saying? But hip-hop always just been a part of just my life, you know what I'm saying? Just like I said, just growing up around music.
I listened to your album. I didn't get to hear all of it, but to my understanding, you produce a lot of your music. Was it just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this myself because I know what I want?
Yeah, it's a mixture of, I definitely had producer like influences, Kanye probably like the biggest, you know what I'm saying? Even thinking about like people that stood out to me as far as hip hop figures or whatever that, would have inspired me, you know what I'm saying, before Kendrick Lamar, but it just carried over. Kanye was definitely an inspiration just because, the soul sample heavy type of production that he do was definitely like an inspiration. And I'm trying to think, because at the time I probably didn't know all the producers, but going back, you know what I'm saying, it's definitely like people like Knife Wonder, Mad Lib. The real like, that golden era. Well, Knife Wonder was kind of after like the golden era, but just in that 2000s, Just Blaze, you know what I'm saying, people like that, they production just stood out to me. And who's another one? Bink, you know what I'm saying, just.
You're a friend of CL Smooth too, ain't it?
Pete Rock, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. It's almost just like, I probably wouldn't even known that they were the producers behind certain things, that I just knowing the songs and this, that, or whatever. I wouldn't know how to pinpoint who was behind it, but it was definitely like, when I go back, or if I even just think about music that I gravitate to, it definitely be more so of that, you know what I'm saying? And of course, I grew up in the 2000s. This is a bunch of people that, you know what I'm saying, would have been influences just off of, just the time, Polo the Don, you know what I'm saying, at the time, it's just different people that just at that time was, great producers and making a lot of songs that we came up on. What really I feel the most connected to is people like Kanye, just his style. Yeah, of course, he kind of came in the game with the sample heavy, but just how he just put the whole thing together. That's what I kind of model myself after. Partly it is, I can do it. I can create my own things. You know what I'm saying? Just from the whole, I can make my own rap. I can write the rap. I can make the beat. You know what I'm saying? I can just lay out the whole idea. And Kanye was one of the ones I definitely can go back to and be like, he, for me, set the foundation of like somebody I can go back to and reference. You know what I'm saying?
Your lyrics, they break monotony. I listened and I was, able to see how your wheels turn a bit. You've been through some pain, but the way that you express it is from your mind, and it's pretty much not your heart. It's not your emotions feeding your mind. You could tell you've been through a lot, but you coming from your brain with it. And your rhyme pattern is not simple, but it's not complicated. Some people gonna say that, man, that's a far reach, but
Jay-Z.
I wouldn't. That was your favorite?
That's my thought.
My thought was Rakim. Ra would make 3 of the last words in a sentence or a phrase rhyme with the syllable of a word. My melody, where he said,
my strategy has to be tragedy, catastrophe, and after this you'll call me your majesty, my melody.
Yeah.
He made all that shit rhyme.
Yeah. Like I said, I can go back and listen to some Rakim, and I definitely understand like the impact that he had. There's certain people that carry it. Like in my time growing up, one of my favorite rappers was Cassidy. You know what I'm saying? And to this day, that you stand on the art of rap, it's a certain level of understanding of the technique, you know what I'm saying, that it takes to put together words. You understand the difficulty, you know what I'm saying? When you know the foundation, you just appreciate people that, especially in the new day and age, that can just still flip different words, a whole scheme. So I definitely want to be able to convey my message. Also being able to show technique, you know what I'm saying, within it. So
that, what you just said, is the difference between a rapper and an MC. Anybody can rap. That's easy.
right.
You know what I mean? But when you put a whole bunch of words in there that rhyme before, that's the skill of it. And the integrity of it is to not sacrifice it for money and fame. So that's
sacrificing the substance within the lines, you know what I'm saying?
Bam.
You might be doing that, but saying still a bunch of bullshit, you know what I'm saying? To where it's just like, you ain't saying nothing.
A lot of rappers, there's been a lot of rappers and some MCs that were cold as fuck. But then when you go back and listen to them, it's like, what do you get out of it? What are you going to walk away with to apply to your everyday life?
Right.
To make your life better?
Yeah.
Your music, I could walk away with something. Even with the age gap between us.
Right.
I commend you on breaking monotony. Definitely don't sound like the average band when it comes to artists. One song in particular, which was Latchkey. The title resonates with me because of my brother. You know, he did 30 in the pen. Last 7 of it was in the hole. So his mind wasn't all together. You know, fast forward, I had to shave my beard and wear my key around my neck like I did when I was little so he could recognize me. Because like I said, he went to jail my senior year in high school.
Right.
So many years go by, that was just like his brain was on pause. That was the last thing he remembered. When I saw Latchkey, I immediately listened to it. And I liked it. Though it wasn't relative to what I just told you, I still liked it. It was the title that was the bait that drew me into it.
Yeah, for sure. It's like I was a latchkey kid too, you know what I'm saying? As far as living in St. Louis, my mama working, you know what I'm saying? My sister doing her thing. She probably like 7, 8 years older than me. So she in high school, I'm in elementary school. So she outside hanging with her friends or whatever. I could just be in the crib, you know what I'm saying? If I'm coming home from school, I got a key to get in the crib and stuff like that. So that was really kind of like where I kind of just like thought about that, like just putting just latchkey in there. The beginning of the verse is more so just, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't so much digging into the story of me being a latchkey kid, but just kind of just relating me building something from the inside. So I kind of like still use that to relate back to the crib. I started talking about, I take my rice chicken fried at the crib, they quick to go and grab the blick and slide. Heart so cold, turn stone, feel like a brick inside. Watching you sitting by, they praying on your demise. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just starting to get into just like the mindset of the crib and just how it was. Obviously, like I said, I stay in Kentucky now. And I go back home, it's like just a small-minded like mindset. And I touch on that in a lot of the songs, just like the mindset. I feel like, you know, just reflecting on where I come from and just trying to reach people and just, you know, to think bigger and this, that, or whatever. But at the same time, like I said, that song, it wasn't so much about that. It was just relating, you know what I'm saying, little artifacts in there to just kind of just show you where I come from, you know what I'm saying? So being a latchkey kid, being home, chicken fried rice, you know what I'm saying, chop suey, you know what I'm saying, just niggas mindset. You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of just led me into that. And I just let that kind of just carry me through the song, you feel me?
How many albums do you have so far?
My first project I dropped was Ebbs and Flows. And then I dropped a series that's kind of like a in-between album series. I call it Stepping Stones. So I got 2 of those. Then One Day It All Makes Sense. Before that, I had Kings Alive. And then One Day It All Makes Sense is another EP. So that's 5.
What's the name of your 10th album?
My 10th album? Damn, I don't know yet. You know what I'm saying? It's still being written. You know what I'm saying? It's still being written. It's already written, actually. It just ain't came to me yet. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's just gonna come out. That's why I feel like everything kind of just like lining up. You know what I'm saying? Every name of my album, you know, it do mean something. Even just Ebbs and Flows, that being like my first project. The genesis of how it's gonna be within this journey. It's gonna be ebbs and flows. It's gonna be ups and downs. So it's just the beginning of it. You know what I'm saying? As far as my journey as being a rapper. So one day it all makes sense. You know what I'm saying? If you just pay attention, stepping stones, it's all step, you know, you're taking steps. And like I said, it's like in between albums. So before I put out another project, I'm just letting that message just, you know, to continue to go on. At first, you know, it's ups and downs, but then as you go, you got stepping stones. One day it all makes sense. The time where, you know what I'm saying, you might be feeling like you're putting out effort, but you know what I'm saying, it ain't making no sense. But just continue to make them steps, you know.
Hypothetically, if you were to go platinum, you get X amount of millions. What would you spend your money on?
real estate, you know what I'm saying, to build up stability. I'm not the type of nigga like I'm gonna go get a foreign or go get a chain or this, that, or whatever. That shit don't mean nothing to me, you know what I'm saying, for real. I ain't saying shit come and go from niggas. And it's really like shit, I think about something that's gonna be substantial, it's gonna be long lasting. So even it probably wouldn't even be for me, you know what I'm saying? It could be for my mama, my, you know what I'm saying, my nephews, my sisters. It's gonna be some type of like real estate, something that we can, of course, like live and enjoy, but we can pass down, you feel me? If I'm thinking about something that I would cash out with, first thing I'm thinking about is something that's gonna set us up for life.
What did you use when you first started making beats?
And it's crazy. I can't remember the name, but it was definitely like a crack version, you feel me? Like, or something. It was, so it wasn't even, they probably don't even make it no more or whatever. It was just like one of them just crack versions or something. I said I started with my homeboy at his crib, you know what I'm saying? He was rapping already, you know what I'm saying? I could make some, I want to try to make some beats. So I don't even remember what it was. It was just some bullshit, but probably the first real one was Fruity Loops, you know what I'm saying? It was still a crack version of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Fruity Loops was probably the first one I got into. But now, you know, what I usually deal with is Ableton. That's what I use.
Where will you say the current state of hip hop is? What will you try to put forth effort to change?
Once again, like the integrity, bringing that more so to the forefront. I'm gonna listen to a lot. I listen to a lot of music. I listen to some mainstream. I listen to underground and shit too. You know what I'm saying? It's more inspiring to me now than, you know, whatever's mainstream. There's people that's underground that keep up the integrity. Niggas like Griselda. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of niggas like for real, yeah. And you talking about syllables and putting them together, and you know what I'm saying? There's niggas like that, Benny the Butcher, Conway the Machine, and that's some whole street shit. And I ain't no street rapper, but I appreciate, you know what I'm saying, just the skill level, you know what I'm saying? And the production too, it just take it back to that field. You know? What was the question again, my fault? What would I try to bring? Like I said, substance to the music, you know what I'm saying? Bring that to the forefront. It's a couple that still kind of grandfathered in, niggas like Kendrick, J. Cole, that's at the forefront. But right now, I feel like we don't really have a newer crop after that. You know what I'm saying? That's really at the forefront. It might be some people that might have cracked it, feel like for a little bit, like Corday or I'm trying to think. I mean, there's some niggas though. I ain't gonna lie. Like niggas like J.I.D. He definitely keep it up. You feel me? But I feel like I just want to add to that, the skill level back, and just, you know, just great music all around. Not just putting just finding whatever hot beat and just rapping some shit over it. Just like having the whole shit mapped out, sketched out, and just have a whole vibe throughout the whole shit. I want to bring projects back to where it just like motherfuckers want to hear the whole project. Like I said, that's why Kendrick was an inspiration, because that was the first album of my time, you know, having some anticipation for it. I couldn't listen to it without playing it from front to back. So that just kind of laid the foundation for me, you feel me, to just like think about it like that. It can't just be one song. Since I started, I ain't never been one track minded. The whole layout of it, you know what I'm saying? You might not get this, but listen to the next thing. When I put it all together, you're going to understand, you know what I'm saying, if you don't feel one particular thing. That's my thing, just bringing just a full length message back. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, with every project, it's a continuation of the same message, or you refer back to the first project to understand the next one. You know what I'm saying? Connecting. That's really what it is, just like having a whole story being told, even if it's not like a Slick Rick story, but just conceptually, you know what I'm saying, you can follow and grow with an artist. A lot of times now, I feel like it's hard to grow with artists because it might be a vibe or a trend that they own for that moment, and then they switch to something else, and so it's hard to invest in them personally because it's not really them. It's them doing whatever the fuck is hot or whatever. I'm trying to just, you know, bring that back, the authenticity. I'm not a street rapper or nothing like that, but Kendrick was an inspiration. You ain't got to be a street rapper. And there's other niggas before that. Like I said, Kanye is Talib Kweli, or, you know what I'm saying, Mos Def. It's definitely other influences. It's like, if I talk about influences, I can go on for real, because it's just niggas that I just respect, just the message they was putting forward.
You were a kid when you fell in love with hip-hop, as I was. What would you tell a kid who fell in love with your music and became a fan? You sat down and spoke with them. What jewels would you get them?
Be authentic to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't, even if your story might not be the same as mine, you know what I'm saying? But tell your story. Of course, like hip-hop is like the broadcast, the news for what's going on in the community, instead of whatever. Speak from your perspective. You know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody got their own unique individual perspective. I feel like being lost in a sense, like today, like where everybody kind of saying the same shit. So it's just like, I can't tell you no different from nobody else. So it's just like, anybody coming up, I would just say, just be authentic to yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way I would know how to do it. And that's what I appreciate. If I'm looking from a fan perspective, me being a hip hop fan, I know I would appreciate you being authentic to your perspective. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's something that's not even necessarily relatable to me, but just knowing that it's authentic to your perspective, I can respect it. So it's just that's what I would suggest. You know what I'm saying? Just sticking to you. Don't be like nobody else. Everybody different. Everybody unique. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can say something different. Everybody got a different point of view. Find a way to express that and not try to fit in with whatever's going on. We are the trend at the end of the day. So it's really whatever we want to push forward. If we don't fall into the trap of what the industry or what society may be pressuring us to want to talk about, but we want to talk about something, talk about what you want to talk about.
Look, man, I appreciate you coming by.
For sure.
And we're going to do this again,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
This is my first interview. We definitely want you to come back.
Yeah, for sure. That's no problem.
All right, man. Thank you, G.
Yes, sir.